been 3 years, 3 exciting years that we have been dealing with those questions of in-work poverty. In Frankfurt, we were dealing with the comparative part. So we were working with country reports from Belgium, Germany, let me enumerate them, Italy, the Netherlands, Poland, and Sweden. And we were trying to draw conclusions on that. This was an extremely complex issue, I would say. First of all, because in-work poverty is, of course, a complex phenomenon. And in the end, the law is just one out of several elements that do play a role here. But also because we were, to a certain degree, of course, shooting at a moving target, because so many things were happening at that very time. So we had crises actually hitting. So we had the COVID crisis, which actually came up at the very moment when we started this project. And then it went on, of course, with lots of unexpected situations, lots of policy initiatives that were taken in the meantime. Yes, we tried to do our best. We tried to pick up really best practices from all those countries, and also worst practices to a certain degree, things that are really problematic and that could perhaps be done better. Yes, so that's a little bit what we've been trying to do, and you can see the outcomes of that in what we are going to publish very soon on the website. I think one thing that you really see from this project is that in-work poverty is incredibly a complex phenomenon, as I said before. And therefore, of course, one initiative is not enough. So the minimum wage directive, I think, is a very important step. We have seen how difficult it is. It was and it still is, because the directive is challenged at this moment, to regulate in this regard. And of course, different countries have different issues in that regard. It's very difficult to find a common stance on this. But wages are, of course, not everything. There's also a lot in terms of labor market policies that are extremely relevant at an age where we actually have labor shortages in many areas, and lots of people at the same time who are not making ends meet and who would actually be dearly needed on the labor market. And of course, there's also the social security issue that we've been very much focusing on, and also the relationship between the two, because there is a certain relationship also between the question how much of a standard of living is insured by social security, and how does this relate to minimum wages, and the discussion of how they should relate to each other. So this is really an extremely complex phenomenon, and I think in all of those areas the EU has a very important role to play. We already saw what the EU can do in the COVID-19 crisis with the SURE regulation and other matters. And it's perhaps in the area of social security where up until now we've seen very little action, and where also the competences of the EU are, of course, very difficult to deal with, and where our project may perhaps also show what would be the potential of the EU intervening to a certain degree and harmonizing also in this area. Yes.